the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
The Chicago Bears are projected to pull off an extremely rare feat in the 2025 season. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, we all know Ryan Poles had a really good offseason to set the Chicago Bears up for success long term, but maybe even as soon as this year. It seems that everything, especially on the offensive side of the ball, seems like it's finally coming together and the first time in ages. And that's a very rare thing to say, because usually the Chicago Bears have never really been known for their offense. It's always been about really good defense and sometimes having really good running backs as well, right? That's what the Chicago Bears are usually known for. But they finally found their quarterback last year, and Caleb Williams drafted him with the number 1 overall pick. They rebuilt their offensive line to give him more protection. And most importantly, it seems like they finally hired the right head coach in Ben Johnson to finally put it all together and really put his players in the best situations to succeed and develop Caleb Williams to the best possible quarterback, that franchise quarterback that we all know that he could be. So if everything actually comes together as we expect it should be as soon as this year in Ben Johnson's first season as Chicago Bears head coach, this Bears offense can put up some serious numbers in 2025. In that regard, Bears fans, there's already a lot of hype around the Chicago Bears as a football team, but especially on the offensive side of the ball. Everyone is expecting Caleb Williams to take that massive leap in year 2. Everyone's expecting guys like Rome Odunze and DJ Moore to take that massive leap as well. Obviously, with Rome Odunze being a second-year player, taking that year 2 leap, and obviously DJ Moore continuing his hot streak as the Chicago Bears wide receiver. ESPN actually released its latest projections for the 2025 season, Bears fans, from analytics expert Mike Clay. And he actually calculates that the Bears will accomplish something that has only happened twice in Chicago Bears franchise history. And he expects the Chicago Bears, at least predicts that the Chicago Bears will have 2 wide receivers crack 1,000-yard seasons. He predicts that DJ Moore and Rome Odunze will both finish with over 1,000 yards receiving. He thinks Moore will finish for 1,064 yards, while Rome Odunze will add 1,012 yards. Bears fans, let me tell you how rare that would be and what company that Rome Odunze and DJ Moore would join if they were actually able to accomplish that feat. The first duo to accomplish that was Curtis Conway and Jeff Graham back in 1995. And then 18 years later, Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey also made that massive feat by both cracking 1,000-yard receiving seasons. So if DJ Moore and Rome Odunze were able to accomplish that feat, they would only be the 3rd wide receiver duo in Chicago Bears franchise history to reach that mark. And when you look at the situations, I think it is very possible. You look at what, first and foremost, what DJ Moore has been able to do in his first 2 seasons as a Chicago Bear. Back in 2023, he had over 1,300 receiving yards. And then in 2024, he followed up with 966 receiving yards. So I think it is very possible under new head coach Ben Johnson for a guy like DJ Moore to crack 1,000-yard season. When you look at Rome Odunze, he also had a very good rookie season. And once again, that was under the circumstances of a really bad coaching staff in Chicago last season. Now you add Ben Johnson. Now you add an even better wide receiver coach in Antoine Randall L. And I think Rome Odunze can also very well crack 1,000 yards in that massive year 2 leap that we were expecting from a guy like Rome Odunze, which he was also a former first-round pick, selected 9th overall in the 2024 NFL draft by the Chicago Bears. Last season, Rome Odunze had 734 receiving yards. So I think it is very possible that we can see that spike from Rome Odunze as soon as this year. Obviously, you saw the connection between Williams and Odunze, and I think that's only going to continue to grow. I know there's always like that running argument right now that who is the true wide receiver one on this football team. I truly believe that right now it's going to be wide receiver DJ Moore, but don't get it twisted. Rome Odunze will also get his fair share of touches going into the season. I think Ben Johnson's going to make that a vocal point, that he understands that Caleb Williams definitely has that connection and chemistry with Rome Odunze, and also obviously with DJ Moore being such a good route runner and has the ability to get open any time that he wants, and obviously the yak ability that DJ Moore obviously offers as a wide receiver as well. I think it's very feasible that both of those guys can have 1,000-yard receiving seasons. And this is where things get interesting. That means, both these guys, talking about DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, if they both crack 1,000-yard receiving seasons, that means, one, the offense is clicking under head coach Ben Johnson, which that's what we expect as Bears fans. That's why we made him the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, to have possibly 2 1,000-yard receivers. And that also means that if DJ Moore and Rome Odunze do crack that feat as soon as this season, that means Caleb Williams is playing lights out as well. And that means we can very well see our very first 4,000-yard passer in Chicago Bears history. And once again, this is something that is very rare for the Chicago Bears. I think it's kind of funny that this would only be the third time a wide receiver duo has reached this feat in Chicago Bears history. If you look at other organizations, they have probably reached this milestone many different times, right? But this is very rare for Chicago Bears because the Bears are not known for offensive success. But usually when you see this happen, both of those times where you saw, Curtis Conway and Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall reach these feet, right, in Chicago Bears history, that means usually the offense has actually been good and has led to more wins in that season, right? So obviously, if DJ Moore and Rome Odunze are able to do their job and get it done, that means the Chicago Bears offense is clicking on all cylinders. That means Caleb Williams is having a really good year, possibly pushing for that 4,000-yard mark, which has never been done in Chicago Bears history. And most likely that means the Chicago Bears will probably also have quite a few wins as well, that's what we expect as Bears fans. So overall, I really hope this projection actually happens. I think it's always a good thing that people are hyped about the Chicago Bears. They understand that for one time in this organization's history, that it seems like they're finally going in the right direction. Once again, you have the quarterback, you have the weapons, you have the protection, you also have the head coach to bring it all together. And if everything works out and there's no injuries and everything's clicking how it should be, I can very well see this happening for the Chicago Bears as soon as this season. So Bears fans, before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys agree with ESPN's projection? Do you guys think that both wide receiver DJ Moore and Rome Odunze could crack 1,000-yard receiving seasons? Let me know down below your prediction in the comment section. But as always, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the